Okay. Can you enable the screen sharing? Faisal, sir, can you enable screen sharing? Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Young Empowerment Talks. Welcome to the 17th episode. And I'm really excited to be the event manager for today's show. I hope you're excited as I am, because towards the end of the show, we've got lots and lots of activities planned out for you. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy today's session. So why this club? Our mission is to support children and young adults to communicate and express themselves effectively, as well as enlighten them with practical knowledge about life and therefore help them to achieve their dreams. We also have a vision of empowering children and youth with prominent skills like communication skills, leadership skills, and other social skills, which would make them stand out in the different aspects of their life. Nothing feels better than achieving your dreams and standing out from the rest of the crowd. In short, if you think you're not confident enough to, start a conversation with someone, anybody, maybe someone you don't know, or even someone who you know, and if you want to develop that confidence, this is the right place. Or if you think you can, confidently carry out smooth conversations with people, and you want to develop that skill to the next level, this is the right place for you, because we've got lots and lots of interactional activities, which is going to really help you bring out that skill. And it's also going to help you become a potential public speaker in future. We also are aiming to help you become the better leaders the world needs. We also aim to help you manage yourself better, manage your different aspects of life, such as your health, your time, your work, your education, your relationships, so that no one really has to guide you on this, so that you're able to do everything yourself. You are independent and you become an inspiration to everybody else. So before I move on further, I would like to talk a little bit about the history of this club. So this club was started off by a man named Faisal Ibrahim. He first started a club named Empowerment Talks, in which he did this because he had a vision of, empowering people and making them believe that they could truly become better versions of themselves, that they could truly achieve what they wanted to achieve and become who they wanted to become. And so he started off Empowerment Talks Club. This was basically a club, a platform, an online platform where you can, share your ideas, share your knowledge, get inspired by other people, and, inspire people themselves. So through this club, he noticed that a lot of people changed their lives. They had a lot of positive impact in their lives, and this was a huge success. And this motivated him to start off other clubs like the 5 a.m. Club, the e-bookery club, the mastermind club, and yes, the Young Empowerment Talks Club. So on your left of this, on the left of your screen, you can see Faisal Ibrahim, sir, who is the founder of Empowerment Talks and all the other associated clubs that I just mentioned before. He's a conversationalist and a business speaker. He's a company formation consultant in the UAE. On your right, you can see Yash Ravitsa. He's the co-founder of Empowerment Talks Club, the first club, and he's a conversationalist, wisdom content creator, and he's a team leader at Alpha Them Group in Dubai. We have two co-founders of Young Empowerment Talks, Anil Thomas and Syed Harris. Anil Thomas is an aviation engineering professional with qualifications and passion in applied psychology and management. He's an international coach, a career counselor, a science popularist, and a mentor. On your right, you can see Syed Harris, sir. He's a trainer for Macmillan Education, an international speaker, and a mentor. These are some members of our leadership team. These are our young leaders. And here we are in episode 17. This is our agenda for today, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to just go through it. So our theme for this week is first things first. It's all about priorities. Thinking changes priorities, and priorities changes your life. And this is our magnificent guest speaker for this week. Her name is Bongiwe Mbebe. I hope I pronounced it right, but I'm not going to talk much about her because let her be a complete question mark to you, because she's going to explode with insights later on during her session. And I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy her session. Do you want to be a part of our sessions? Do you want to, help us in conducting sessions? Then if you do, just contact us on these numbers. Do not hesitate, of course. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. And we hope that you stay with us throughout the end of the program. And yes, just enjoy us, and you can enjoy our show. And just also, if you know people who would enjoy this session with us, who are not a part of this and who would enjoy it, then please send on the link to everybody so that they can also be a part of this club. So now I'd like to pass on my time to the host of today's show, Zenha Yasser.
Thank you, Ria. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. Do you know that song? Okay, if anyone who is confused, it is Believer by Imagine Dragons. So its first line is first things first. Okay, put first things first. A phrase that easier said than done. In this busy world, it's very easy to lose sight of your goals. And because it's nearly impossible to just have one task on your list, you need to keep your ducks in a row. So how do you do this? There are so many different tools to help you put first things first. But perhaps the best method is the Eisenhower matrix. This matrix was later popularized by the late Stephen Covey in his best-selling book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Covey integrated ways to resolve professional and personal difficulties, thus the division of daily activities into 4 quadrants. He incorporated this concept into what he called the third habit, which means to put things first. Putting things first encourages you to adopt a way of life where life should be celebrated without compromising your responsibilities. What is the third habit? To fully understand the third habit, you need to revisit Stephen Covey's first and second habits. The first habit talks about being proactive, going after what you want in life, being responsible for your behavior, result, and growth, knowing that you are accountable for the things you do. The second habit is to begin with the end in mind. This means being able to envision the things you want in life. Like a building that needs a blueprint, you also need to contemplate on things that you want to achieve. Now, this is where the third habit comes in. Putting first things first perfectly complements habit one, be proactive, and habit two, begin with an end in mind. So, what does habit three be? It means to act on your ideas, visions, and goals. Now that you have an established vision and taken responsibility for your life, it's time to act. However, the third habit is not focused on a single goal. On the contrary, it's geared toward long term goals that reap tremendous benefits. Habit three is said to be the key to fulfillment. If you put more weight on the things that matter and make it a habit to live a life of value, you will have achieved greatness. So, how to put first things first? The secret to weekly planning is to make priorities. It's clear that working on your priorities with a bigger picture in mind, rather two tasks, contributes to your personal and professional growth. Everything else will follow. A perfect example is the big rock, small rock principle. Imagine your life is a jar. If you put in the big rocks first, the smaller rocks will settle in the cracks, allowing them to fit into the jar. It's pretty much like how urgent things work their way through major tasks in real life. To illustrate, here's a run through of a day with the first things first principle in mind. Note that this involves moving tasks from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2. First, you determine the bigger goals you want to achieve in life. For example, I want to be more focused, I want to improve my physical health, I want to be the best version of myself. After determining your goals, you start your day with the big rocks in mind. Following our above example, we will practice meditation after waking up. Starting your day right will determine how the rest of your day will go. Meditation creates calmness and clarity, which makes you more productive. After meditating, it's time to do some exercises to improve your physical health. This is important for you to feel alert and active throughout the day. To become the best version of yourself, you want to dress up accordingly and present yourself neatly. This boosts your confidence and self-esteem. This simple example shows how the small rocks will adjust if you prioritize your big rocks first. That means focusing on your Q2 tasks, tasks that are important but not urgent, rather than the urgent and important tasks, that is Q1. The irony of this is when you don't follow through your Q2 tasks, they would eventually turn to Q1 tasks. For instance, if you forget to exercise regularly, sooner or later you'll feel unhealthy until an emergency situation will force you to try exercising again. Unless you want a constant crisis in your life, you must make it a habit to move quadrant 1 tasks to quadrant 2 tasks. Such is the importance of prioritizing your tasks. Now, it's time to introduce our guest speaker for the day, for the week. Bongiwe Mbebe is a certified behavioral analysis consultant, coach, speaker, and trainer. Leadership and performance coach with the Leadership Academy, South Africa. She is the founder of Fructified Creation, a leadership development consulting organization which works with individuals and organizations to help them unlock their greatness to achieve outstanding results. Welcome, Ms. Mbebe.
Oh, wow, wow. Thank you so much with that warm welcome, Ria. And also to you, Zina. Thank you so much. And I love the energy in this session already. And actually, I don't have much to say because Zina has said it all, Oh, thank you for the opportunity to be here, to engage and to connect with you. Bongiwe from South Africa. The introduction of this, as you have already introduced me, my name is Bongiwe from South Africa, all the way from South Africa. I'm not sure if any of you have been to South Africa before. Oh, yeah. you are welcome to come to South Africa. So, but without wasting any time, so I'm going to talk about the topic of this week. I believe that we are in session 17 of your program. So the topic also is first things first, putting the first things first. So I am not sure if you have to think about the first things in your life. What are those first things in your life? If you have to think about yesterday, let's talk about yesterday. Who did you spend your time with yesterday? Do you know who did you spend your time with yesterday? And what did you spend your time on yesterday? So if it's important to account to our time, it's important to account to what we are doing. So I would like to share, if it's important, if I'm allowed to share a screen. Will I be able to share? Yes.
I've enabled it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. So putting first things first, it's important that we understand that you were born for potential. You were born for greatness. God has planted seeds of greatness in you. But we all have a choice in life, all right? Priorities, as Zina has mentioned, priorities is all about making. Now you need to choose which path that you would like to take, okay? And then you have to decide every day, every morning, you decide how you're going to spend your time, okay? And you decide who you're going to spend that time with, all right? And also when you don't have much time, so you also decide what are you going to do with the little time that you have left. It's all about choices. So we make choices. Our priorities is all about what? It's about choices, okay? And also it is important that we understand that every priority that we make, every action that we make, it has a consequence, okay? So who is a better person to decide what is best for you other than you? I cannot decide for you. Your parents cannot decide for you. Your teachers cannot decide for you. Your mentors cannot decide for you because it is your life, right? And you need to take ownership of your life. And you have mentioned earlier on, Zina, like now, habit number 1 of the seven habits, it talks about being proactive. So you need to take ownership of your life, okay? So that is important, that we take ownership of our lives. So I'm trying to move now okay. So as you have mentioned that if you have a jar, okay? If I have a jar and then I take that jar and then I fill it with a big rocks, okay? Then do you agree with me that I'll still have the sand? I can still put the sand there in that big jar. I can still put the pebbles in that big jar. But if I start with putting the sand and filling that jar with sand, I will not be able to put any of those big rocks, okay? So the jar, it also represents our lives. Our lives is like that, okay? So the big rocks are the most important things in our lives. So you need to jot down now and think about what is the most important things in your life. Is it your family? Is it your health? Is it your friends? Is it your dreams? So you need to think about what is important to you so that you can be able to put those things first, whatever that is important to you, okay? And things that are important, that they are the ones that must fill our jar first, okay? And the pebbles are also other things that are necessary for us and other things that are important for us, other things that are important for our daily lives, but they are not as important as the rocks, okay? And the sand is anything else that is in between. It is a small stuff, okay? So if you put that sand first now in your jar, then you will not have any room for the pebbles. You will not have any room for the big rocks, okay? So it also goes the same for your life as well. So if you spend time on the small things, on the small stuff, you will never have times for the most important things. If you say your family is important, but you're not spending time with your family, you don't spending time, if you say now you value your dreams, but you're not spending time to try and build your dreams and invest in your dreams and doing the other things like watching too much TV, then you will never have time. You will never have time for those important things in your life. So it is important to understand that we need to take care of the first things in our lives, which are those rocks, okay? And those are the things that really, really, really matters to us. So it is important that we need to set priorities. What you do in the morning, it is very important, okay? And then the rest of the other things is just the sand, okay? So if you have to ask yourself, what are the rocks in my life? What are the rocks in my life? Okay. So for you to be able to ask that, you need to ask yourself some questions. You need to ask yourself these 3 questions, and also you need to answer yourself those 3 questions. The first one is to be able to understand those big rocks in your life is, what do I have to do? Okay. What do I have to do? What are those things in my life that are not an option, but they are very important and they are necessary? Okay. So you jot those things down, okay? And then the second one is, what do I do well? What do I do well? This talks about your abilities. It talks about your strengths, your talents, your gifts, okay? So you need to spend time on those things. Those are the things that are important to you as a teenager, as a young person, okay? And you need to understand that once you give those things much time and much effort, you will experience so much more in life and be successful if you spend much time on those things that are important to you. And then the third rock question is, what do I love to do? What is my passion? What do I sing about? What do I dream about? Okay, so it is important to understand those things. What are your dreams? What are your dreams? What are you passionate about? And what are those things that fulfill you? What are those things that brings a smile on your beautiful face? Okay, so it is important to answer those 3 questions, and then you'll understand what are those big rocks in your life once you do that. And then the other question that you need to ask yourself is, how does prioritizing affect me? How does prioritizing affect my life? Then you understand that when you pay attention to the things that are most important to you, okay, so you will, it yields to greater returns, all right, and greater efforts. So there's so much, like when you invest in your time in the things that are important to you, there's so much that will come back to you. So there's greater investment. It's like I always say that I'm a leadership gardener. Okay, I love gardening. I love farming. So when you plant a seed, okay, the harvest is always greater than the seed that you planted. Okay, you will never have a harvest that is greater than, that is less than the seed. The seed is always like expanded, extended. So it's the same for you. Once you spend so much time on the things that are important to you, there is much, much greater returns. Okay. And another thing that we need to understand is that working hard is very important, right? Working hard is very important, but working smart is even much greater. So we need to work smart, okay? So what does how do you work smart as a young person, okay? So you work smart by first going for those things that are important to you. First things first, okay? So you prioritize, okay? So you stop spending much time on the minor things like the sand in the jar, and then you start spending your major time on the things that are important to you, which are your rocks. Then that is working smart, okay? So you need to understand that as a young person, as a teenager, you need to control your day, okay? If you don't control your day, then your day will control you. If you don't control your day, you'll be overwhelmed because everyone, your friends will come and ask you to do things because you did not have plans, right? But when you have plans, it's important for, it's gonna be easy for you to tell them, but not now, not today, because I am busy with something. And also, whenever you have that tendency of being lazy, the tendency of being slack, and you remember that there are things that you need to do, okay, you need just to stand up and say, okay, do it now, Ria, do it now, Zina, do it now, do it now, do it now, okay? So that's, you can take out that feeling of laziness in you. Just like say, stand out and say, okay, do it now, you're going to do it now, I am going to do it now. And then how does now prioritizing affects others? Remember, we were born to be a blessing, not just to ourselves, but to be a blessing to other people, okay? So when you choose now to prioritize your life correctly, you're also placing yourself now in a position where you can prioritize other people, okay? So you can be able now to be able to serve other people better, to help other people when you prioritize your life better. And also when you're saying to your friends, when you're saying to people, no for now, okay, it does not mean no for later, right? You can just say, okay, no for now, I cannot help you at this moment, okay? And when you're saying no for now, no now to your friends, it also creates a space for you to say yes at the right time, okay? It does not mean that you're saying no forever. You don't want to help people, but you are going to help people, but at the right time. And it is important that you must not allow other people to place their priorities over your priorities, okay? When you don't have priorities, then you will start to serve other people's priorities. So it is important that you have your own priorities so that now you can be able to say no to other people, okay? So if, for example, if you have a math test tomorrow and your friend needs you to help her with her English assignment, for example, so it will be wise for you to suggest that, okay, no, I will only help you with that assignment that you want me to help after my test. So you're putting yourself first, you're prioritizing now your thing first, okay? So otherwise now, if you don't do that, you'll be distracted and then you will not have much time to study for that maths test, okay? And then, yeah, so it is important that you put your first self, and then when you do that, then it will be like a win-win for both of you, okay? So you prioritize your life. When you prioritize your life, you become a gift to other people. You can be able to serve other people better, okay? And also you can become the best and the full version of yourself, all right? And you become helpful and present to other people. So it is important. So now, I just wanted like now to also to add to what Zina has already like said to you guys about putting first things first, and also introducing the time quadrant, okay? We understand that we are living in a society that is addicted with urgency. Everything is just now. We are in a like now generations. That's why we've got the microwaves, we've got the 2 minutes noodles, we've got the fast food, like we've got urgent things that are not, but we've got urgent things, but don't get me wrong. Urgent things are not necessarily bad, okay? But the problem is when we start now to prioritize those urgent things and focus on them and put off the things that are important to us, okay? So like studying for your test in advance, it is important to you, okay? So we need to, all those things now, they get to be pushed aside by the urgent things that which are other people's problems, not your problems, okay? So that's why I wanted to introduce you now to this time quadrant. So in each quadrant, you need to ask yourself, what quadrant am I spending most of my time? When you look at those 4 quadrants, what quadrant am I spending most of my time? Okay, so in quadrant number 1, I want you to meet the procrastinator, okay? So in quadrant number 1, we've got the procrastinator there. She hangs in quadrant number 1. And her motto is, I am going to stop procrastinating sometime soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, okay? So it's not urgent for her to stop. And then also, she does not study for her test way in advance. She likes to study for her test like a night before the exams. And now for that, when you study the night before the exams, it creates so much pressure on you. It creates so much depression, also so much anxiety on you, because now you don't have much time to study. So this person, Miss Procrastinator here, she likes to put things off and off and off until it becomes a crisis, okay? So she likes to push things and put things until like for the last minute. So for her now, the result is that she becomes stressed and anxiety kicks in, depression kicks in, she becomes burnt out, her energy is depleted, and now she does not perform her best. She does not excel, okay? Then she becomes like an average person. And I know you guys in this session, you are not average person. You are excellent leaders, okay? So for you to be an excellent leader, you need to move out of that quadrant. You need to move out of quadrant number 1, which is a procrastinator. And then on quadrant number 3, we've got a yes man. So this guy, it is always difficult for him to say no to anything or to anyone. When his friends say he must go somewhere, he said, okay, yes, because he wants to please everyone, okay? And he comes to peer pressure, né? Because he likes to be popular and he likes to be loved and liked by everyone. And he does not want to stand out. He does not want to stand out. And this person, he does not have that much courage to turn people down, even if he's busy. Even if he's busy, like he'll say, no, he does not want to turn them down, or he does not even want to disappoint other people. But at the end of the day, this burdens him. It becomes a burden to him. It's not helping him at all, okay? And also he can resist now to take any task that people are giving him. And then people will throw things to him, and then he will accept those tasks, even though they are not really important to him, okay? And then on the quadrant number 4 sits the guy we call the slacker, okay? Where here, like there's so much waste, he wastes. So this guy will do activities that are not even urgent, they are not even important, okay? He watches too much TV, he plays too many video games or PlayStation, and he spends too much time on the internet. I think the only time that you need to spend on the internet is through these sessions, but not any other sessions, okay? Because all those other things, they steal your time, okay? They steal your time. So this one, we call him a professional loafer, because all the time he's sitting on the couch all the time, and he sleeps until like late in the afternoon. So if he sleeps until late in the afternoon, he does not wake up to do the first things that are important to him, then there will not be no time for him, okay, to do those things, okay? And for this guy, the schoolwork is the last thing on his mind. He'll rather just hang out with his friends and chat with his friends on the phone than to do his schoolwork, okay? What are the results of this guy now? What are the results of the slacker? It's lack of responsibility, and he's always guilty all the time. You know, he's always guilty all the time, and then that guilty will also lead you to shame, right? Because now he's not going to pass, and then when he does not pass, like now, because his other friends are excelling in their areas, but now you always feel guilty, and then you always feel like shameful as well. Okay, but now the beautiful quadrant that we all strive to be is quadrant number 2. We want to be in quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 2, we have here the beautiful Miss Prioritizer, okay? This person, she's not perfect at all, but she's got everything together, okay? She prioritizes everything that she does, and she makes sure that everything is done. First things are done first, and the last things will be done last. She knows what are the first things in her life, and she knows what are the signs in her life. She plans ahead, and she's usually on top of the things, okay? She does her homework on time. She studies her test way in advance, and she does her best and to avoid the stress, to avoid the burnout, and to also avoid the anxiety, okay, that will be caused now by cramming like in a very short space of time, okay? And to her, the people who matters the most in her life, like her friends, like her family, those people, they come first in her life, okay? And this person, she has learned to overcome overcome peer pressure, okay? She has learned to overcome peer pressure. So this is the quadrant that we need to be, the quadrant, we call it the quadrant of excellence, okay? This is the place that we want to be. This is the place that I wish that you guys in this session can be in this quadrant. So in the quadrant 2, there's a control. You can control your life, because you know that I take ownership of my life, okay? You have the balance of your life, and you become now a high performer in this, okay? So how does a prioritizer plan her life, okay? How does he plan her life? There are steps now that she takes to plan her life. The first steps, she identify her big rocks, okay? She identify what are her big rocks in her life, okay? So as we've said before, if you fill your jar with the sand first, then you won't have space for the bigger things, okay? So you need to think now. First thing is identify your rocks, and at the end or in the beginning of the week, okay? So you need to spend even like just 15 minutes of your time, spend 15 minutes of your time to sit down and think about what is it that you want to accomplish in this coming week? What do you want to accomplish in this coming week? Because if you don't have anything planned, people are going to plan for you, all right? So you need to ask yourself, what are the most important things that I need to do this week? What are my big rocks for this week, okay? So you might say that it's for you is to study for maths, is to finish reading that book, or it is to practice for that soccer game. Because remember, you cannot go and play a game without practicing. If you play a game, you're gonna have a great game if you practice, right? But if you did not practice, then you're going to be unfit and then you're not going to enjoy your game. So it is important that you understand and write it down. Things must be written, right? Anything that is not written does not exist. All right. Then the step number 2, you need to block out things you need to block out time for your big rocks. Okay. So now you've identified your big rocks. Now you need to schedule time. Okay. Because if you don't schedule your big rocks first, then nothing will be done. All right. Nothing will be done. So you need to write it down in your journal, or write it down in your diary or your planner. Okay. So if, for example, you decided that, okay, the best time to study, the best time to study or prepare for that debate is Tuesday night, schedule it in your diary, schedule it in your journal, okay? Block that time out. So it's like making a reservation with yourself, okay? Making an appointment with yourself. Is that not cool? Okay. So then the other one, now the third step is to schedule. Then you can schedule everything else. After you have scheduled your big rocks, the things that are important to you, your first things, then you can schedule everything else, okay? So it is important that you start with the important things, and then all the other things, now all your daily tasks, then you can schedule them last, all right? So then the another question that we need to ask ourselves is, what keeps me from putting these things? What keeps me from putting the things that are important in my life first? What is that thing that is keeping teenagers, youth, from putting those things that are important, that they claim to be important in their lives? The first one is fear. Okay, first one is fear. So what I want to encourage you, young leaders, in this session is that you must never allow fear to prevent you from taking action. Never allow fear to prevent you from taking a decision, okay? Just think of all the people, all the great men that we know, like alive, like even the one who have passed on, who have achieved great things, and people who have acted in spite of, even in the face of fear. I will make an example with Nelson Mandela, because I'm from South Africa. So I'll make an example with the late Nelson Mandela. He was a great leader. He was a great man. Okay. So Nelson Mandela, he was very instrumental in ending the oppressive apartheid system that we had here in South Africa. Okay. He was in prison for 27 years. Imagine, 27 years for speaking against apartheid, for fighting for justice, okay? And he was eventually elected to be the first Black president of South Africa. Just imagine now, what if he, because of fear, he never dared to fight the system? Where would I be today? Because with his acts of courage, it gave me and my generation, even the generations to come, hope, all right? Even to, it gave us boldness as well, to be able to know that anything is possible for us as well. So surely all the great deeds that were done by famous people or by everyday people were accomplished even in the face of fear. So another thing that is keeping us from putting things first in our lives is also the peer pressure. So it is important that as teenagers, as youth, you are able to say no when your friends are saying, you must do things that are like, so you must be able to stand up for what you believe in, okay? And for you to do that, for you to say no when everyone else is saying yes, it takes courage, okay? It takes courage. And why is it difficult for us to resist? Why is it difficult for youth to resist peer pressure? It's because most people, they are dying to belong, okay? People, like, they are dying to belong, they're dying to belong, to be in the group, okay? So it is important that you are able to stand for your truth, all right, as the young person. Another thing that I want us to talk about, like in terms of putting your first things first, it is about the courage and also the comfort zone, all right? So your comfort zone, it represents things that you are familiar with, things and places that you know, the friends that you are comfortable to talk with, to play with, and to engage and connect with, and also the activities that you enjoy doing, okay? So comfort zone is nice, right? Comfort zone, it is risk-free, it is easy, it does not require any stretching from you, okay? And within those boundaries, everything is safe and everything is secure, okay? And then on the other side, we have the courage zone, okay? Courage zone is full of adventure. I love adventure, okay? I love to take risks. So adventure, it's got risk, it's got challenges, right? And it's got things that make us feel uncomfortable, right? There's so much pressure in the courage zone. And there's also a possibility of failure. I say a possibility of failure because it's in our perception, right? It does not mean that we are going to fail. It's a possibility. It's what we think that we can fail. But a courage zone, it gives us that place for an opportunity, like to do more. And it gives us that place to reach our full potential, to become the best that we were created to be. And we need to understand that as teenagers, as young leaders, that you will never reach that place of potential. You never reach your best potential by hanging out in your comfort zone. So it is important that you are able to move from your comfort zone. I am really encouraging you to move from your comfort zone and find the strength and find the courage to move into the courage zone. Another thing about putting things first is discipline, okay? So we need to be disciplined, right? There's nothing that we can do if we are not disciplined, okay? So putting first things first, it requires discipline, okay? It takes discipline to manage your time. It takes discipline to wake up in the morning. It takes discipline to commit and to be in this session this afternoon. It takes discipline to overcome your fears. It also takes discipline to be strong and resist peer pressure, okay? And all the successful people that we know, they have the habit of doing things that people who have, like the failures, they don't like to do. They will, but successful people, they will go for those things, even though even for them, they might not like to do those things, but they do it anyway, okay? Because they know that these things, they will lead them into their goals. These things, they will lead them into their destiny, okay? Then the last thing that you get, as I'm closing now, the last thing that we need to understand as people who are the prioritizers, like now as a prioritizer, as a teenager who's a prioritizer, as a young person who is a prioritizer, what do you need to do for you to move forward? What do you need to do for you to live now this life of prioritizing yourself? You need to stop procrastinating. So that is number one. You need to stop procrastinating. Do the important things early. Do those important things first thing in the morning, okay? And you need to be able to learn to say no to things that are not important to you, okay? So I want to encourage you not to be easily interrupted, not to be easily disrupted by other people, okay? So stop trying to please everyone else, okay? Because you are ruining yourself, you are also damaging yourself by doing that, right? And remember that when you're saying no, you are really saying yes to more important things in your life, okay? So when you're saying no to other people now, you are saying yes to your life, okay? So you need to avoid time wasters. So that's all I wanted to say to you today on this afternoon, that you need to do the stuff that really, really, really matters, okay? Than just to do more stuff, okay? It's not about doing more stuff, but doing the stuff that are important to you. So that is how we're saying we put everything else first things first. So in my language, in the South African language, when we say thank you, we say, I'll say dankie, ngiyaleboga, ngiyabonga, enkosi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. That was a very comprehensive speech. Zenha, you there?
Sorry, I'm late. That was a really empowering session. Miss and Baby, thank you so much for joining us. So next we have an anecdote session by Jinan. She is from Dhaka, Bangladesh. She says she's in grade 7, so 13 years old. Her hobbies are reading, coding, and drawing. She is an avid book reader, certified from the British Council. She loves taking part in art competitions and has won many prizes and certificates. Not only that, she codes and does computer programming, from which she was certified as a young coder of Bangladesh. So, Jinan, you're all waiting.
Thank you, Zena, for that wonderful introduction about me. Hi everyone, I am Luaba Jinan Rahman from Dhaka, Bangladesh, and I would prefer it if you call me Jinan. Today I will introduce you to something special. Let me introduce you to something that you experience every single day of your life, but you do not really recognize its presence. Let me help you know better the fear in yourself, which holds you back to do the things which you think is your first priority, through experience sharing my journey through drawing, painting, and sketching. Now you might have a knocking in your head about how can drawing be a piece of important experience sharing? I will pardon you to let that thought in, because it's not about the drawing but about the improvements made in my course through my painting experience by getting over my fears. You see, so far I know these are the paintings of me when I was 4 years old, and these are not at all good, and they're not good enough to you all. I wasted a lot of color and paper. But I liked drawing. But I was afraid to draw because I wasted so much paper. But my parents did not let me down, but instead they inspired me to draw more, although I wasted all this color and paper and so many other things. And by their help, I started to draw more and more. And I realized that I was improving my drawing. In my dad's office, there was a competition held for the employed children. So I was a part of it, but I was very nervous at first because I was afraid to draw. And then I realized that I was drawing better, and I won first prize in my dad's office program, namely called Children Art Competition in Agargaon, Dhaka, at the age of 5. And I got a prize at Santos, which is a well-renowned oil gas company based in Australia. I also performed rhymes and songs on their stage. I was very inspired to get prizes and so many people clapping in front of me. So I drew more and more. Then I attended Borno Mela competition in the International Mother Language Day in Bangladesh. It was dated 21st February in Dhaka. I got many more prizes and certificates which inspired me more and more. And I improved my drawings too. I also participated several art competitions of Kishore Alo, which is a local magazine in Bangladesh for the young, and in St. Joseph School, Dhaka, and Residential Model School and College of Dhaka. Kishore Alo is the sister concern of Prothom Alo. It's the most famous and popular daily newspaper in Bangladesh. I was happy to improve myself and improve my drawings too. But the most important thing to me was that I started to get over my fear. The fears in my head started to erase. My parents were happy to see all these things, so they admitted me to a drawing school and I completed all my courses and I was very happy to be a part of it. Sad to know that my first oil painted canvas were not good compared to theirs and I was very nervous at first because all the people were very older than me. I did not lose hope. I practiced drawing very much and then I got third position in the annual examination. Inspired by that, I started to do oil painting on canvas and I was in grade 4 when I first did my first oil painting canvas. I also did acrylic painting, watercoloring on canvas. Then I also did watercoloring on paper. I loved to do portrait drawing as well. Here are 2 portraits which I drew of Mahatma Gandhi and of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. I love sketching. It's the favorite mode of me to draw. I love to sketch with pencil more, but I like to sketch with color as well on canvas. But my favorite mode is sketching with pencil on paper. I also do decoration and design on wall art. I was very happy to improve myself. I drew more and more. And I found pleasure in drawing, although at first I was very afraid to do it. With this, I want to conclude my speech as all of these things happened because I did not give up. Although I was not good at the work, I kept confidence in myself. I made drawing my first priority, and because my parents supported me through my journey of arts. Thus, to get better at the things you're not good at, you should firstly be confident in yourself. And I believe that you can do that on your own. For instance, if you think that you're not good at math, but you have a test tomorrow, you should take away your fear and do that because it's your first thing to do. Take your first priority in account and get away your fear. Just like I did with the help of my parents who greatly inspired me. And you know what? It really works. Just as the improvement is so easy to see. Thanks a lot, everybody, for putting your time and effort in listening to my presentation. So I guess this is the time for me to take an account and ending my presentation. So I better say bye-bye.
Wow, Jinan, that was such a great experience. Now we have a science section by Amar. Amar is a 10th grader in Hyderabad. He likes to watch movies and read epic novels. He secured first place in district level essay writing and elocution. From there, he went to state level and secured first in essay and second in elocution. He also wrote a story and it has been selected for NCERET Starbit National level. Welcome, Amar.
Thank you for the introduction. Well, the topic which I'm going to speak today is being water smart. "9 years. Just 9 years. Are you all wondering what's going to happen in 9 years? Well, according to United Nations Water Agency, in 9 years, there will be about 2/3 of world's population living in water-stressed conditions. That means In 9 years, there will be 8 million people living on this planet, over which 5 million people will have no water. Look at planet Mars. How do scientists relate that no water brings no life? Well, let me tell you a story. Imagine that you are in year 2030. Your home green backyard has turned into dry mound of grass. Your home water taps are no more potable. And it sounds so bad that you have to actually fight with a random stranger in order to make sure that you have enough amount of water. How does that feel? Well, in 9 years, I'm gonna be 24 years old. What about you? What about your children? Water scarcity is not only gonna affect us, but also our future generations. Water itself, being tasteless, odorless, and lifeless, adds taste, smell, and life to all living beings on this planet. Well, the fact about water is found everywhere, literally everywhere, but we lack in clean drinking water. The largest consumers of water is agriculture and industry. Well, I'm not a farmer, nor am I an industrialist, but the reason why I decided to speak about water today is only because we are not speaking about it enough. Do we need tap running while brushing our teeth? If not, we can save water which is equal to 7 adult elephants. Yes, 7. Well, the only way to conserve water is by being water smart. The ways and the methods for conserving water is afforestation, spreading awareness about water on media and social media, teaching simple techniques, and also rainwater harvesting. Well, I would like to conclude by saying that don't think we can't make a difference. There are over 7 billion people on this planet, and if we actively participate, we can absolutely make a difference. Every drop in ocean counts. Well, I would like to pose you a question before ending my speech. That how are you gonna conserve water in 9 years? Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
It's really informative speech, Amar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now we have a game session in breakout rooms. To those watching in YouTube Live, unfortunately, this is the end of the session. I really hope you found value in this session, and make sure you join us next time.